Are you looking for the best robot vacuum cleaners? In this video we will look at some of the 5 best robot vacuum cleaners on the market. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description, so make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Starting at number 1. iRobot Roomba J7 Plus. iRobot's Roomba J7 Plus was the first robot vacuum that I trusted to clean my floors without much follow-up on my end. I tested it over the course of several weeks, running multiple map jobs of my home, using it for mopping jobs, and vacuuming every other day. In that time, it proved itself to be a capable substitute for my rigorous vacuuming schedule. My floors felt free of dirt and debris, with some small exceptions that only my Dyson Vis7 motorhead vacuum could pick up. It has 2 primary brushes on the bottom, both of which are made of a tough rubber, that rotate in opposite directions to create enough agitation to scrape up more than a single brush could. It also has an additional set of blades that rotate on the side of the vacuum to reach into corners and other spots the main brushes may miss. While your robot is still in the get-to-know-you stage of navigating your home, it can often look goofy as it figures out what not to bump into and how to get out of tricky spots. Of all the vacuums I tested, the Roomba J7 Plus made mapping look the easiest, and the additional input you can provide in the app for things like obstacle identification make it one of the smartest vacuums you can get. It uses infrared sensors and a front-facing camera to navigate around your home, and after every cleaning cycle you can go into the iRobot app and look at any obstacle the robot detected and tell it if it's a permanent obstacle, like a new exercise bike, or if it'll be gone by the next cleaning. For instance, whenever my dog left one of his toys in the kitchen, I tell the Roomba not to mind it, that way it doesn't designate the middle of my kitchen a no-go zone. Once the J7 Plus is finished with a cleaning cycle, it will find its way back to the docking station, where the base will automatically suck up whatever the Roomba picked up during its cleaning. You'll still have to empty the station's chamber, but not nearly as frequently as you'd have to empty the robot itself without the station, as is the case with some of our other recommendations. That part of the routine is particularly loud, though, so make sure you're not on a call or recording anything when the robot is finishing up its job. As with any gadget with moving parts, the J7 Plus is subject to wear and tear as it goes through more cleaning cycles. Thankfully, many of the parts, like the brushes and filters, are totally user replaceable, so you won't need to send it back to iRobot for anything other than serious damage or malfunctions. You can also replace the cleaning bin where the J7 Plus holds dirt and debris, as well as the wheels and battery, and you can even replace the base station without needing to buy an entirely new unit. You can get cheaper vacuums from iRobot, but they all require some sacrifices that dampen the experience overall. The J7 Plus best juggles price and features, resulting in an all-around capable robot that you won't have to spend a year saving for. Its dual brush system and camera-based mapping make it an excellent cleaner that knows your home well enough to reach every nook and cranny. For thorough mopping from a robot, you'll get better results from a dedicated mopping robot, as the whole device is packed with gizmos meant strictly for wiping floors rather than being added onto an already packed machine. iRobot sells a version of this vacuum called the Combo J7 Plus that also mops, but it's not quite as effective as the Roborock Qrevo Pro, which you can read more about below. Number 2. Yui Boost IQ RoboVac 11S Max. If you're willing to get a vacuum without any cameras, the Eufy 11S has impressed me with its ability to navigate a home despite more bare-bones navigation, though it does get stuck more than iRobot's models. Unlike the other robot vacuums we recommend, the 11S doesn't have any sort of smart navigation, relying instead on what Eufy calls bump detection. Essentially, it just reorients itself if it bumps into something like your sofa, bike, or trash can. It doesn't allow for as much granular tweaking for convenience, and it'll require you to be more hands-on with cleaning and keeping it on track, but it'll save you a good deal of money while still getting the job done. Strategist senior writer Liza Corsillo loves the 11S, which she used for 5 years. It's super quiet, so I can run it while I work or watch TV without getting distracted by noise, she says. It's easy to use and slim enough to fit underneath almost every piece of furniture I own. Number 3. iRobot Roomba Combo J7 Plus. My pups and their dirty post-walk paws tend to make my floors pretty gunky if I'm not diligent about cleaning. I try to stay on top of it, but during busy weeks, the Combo J7 Plus, an upgraded version of our best robot vacuum overall, has helped keep my floors adequately tidy. The Combo J7 Plus has every feature that makes the J7 Plus great, plus the ability to mop your floors. After it sweeps things up on the front end, water will spray out the back, and the Combo J7 Plus will swing down an arm that has a mopping pad to brush over your floors and give them a nice clean. As it approaches a surface that can't be mopped, like a rug, the mopping arm will swing and go back up until it's back on a hard surface. In my experience, the Combo J7 Plus mopping is about 80% as effective as doing the job myself with my trusty Swiffer. That said, I'm picky about the cleanliness of my floors and usually mop at least once per week, so if you're used to only doing it periodically, this gets close, and you can always run it a second time for good measure. One caveat: unlike the Roborock Qrevo Pro, the Roomba's mopping pads have to be manually cleaned as there isn't a built-in cleaning function. That'll save water compared to the liquid-heavy self-cleaning method the Roborock uses, since you can just toss the mopping pad in the washer, but it requires more maintenance. Number 4. Roborock Qrevo Pro. For long cleaning jobs, like vacuuming and mopping together, I like to be at home so I can make sure my robot doesn't get caught on any cables and that my dogs aren't alone while their least favorite object zooms around the home, so the faster the cleaning job, the better. Of all the robots I've tested, this Roborock mapped and cleaned my home the fastest. I watched it zip from room to room, getting an accurate map of the house within about 10 minutes, and getting right to its first custom cleaning job. The results were impressive too. In just under 2 hours, it did 2 full vacuum and mop runs of my entire 3-bedroom home, and my floors were spotless. Other comparable models, like the Combo J9 Plus and Combo J7 Plus, required at least 15 minutes more. As the Qrevo Pro rolled through my house, sucking up dirt and sweeping its 2 mopping arms with their rotating pads back and forth across my floors, I never had to save it from getting tangled with the cables behind my TV or my desk, even though its LiDAR-only object detection is not quite as intelligent as the software on iRobot's camera-based vacuums. This robot vacuum has some other convenient features as well. Unlike the Combo J7 Plus and J9 Plus S pads, which need to be hand-washed, the Qrevo Pro has a self-cleaning feature built into its dock that will periodically clean the mopping pads throughout the course of its cleaning job. This uses more water than iRobot's method, but it's also completely hands-off. You can adjust the amount of water used during mopping, how often it washes the mops, as well as the number of times it cleans your floors, once or twice, to manage how much water each job uses. Both iRobot and Roborock have solid apps, but Roborock's Do Not Disturb feature is a nice addition that I've enjoyed tinkering with. When enabled, this setting lets you toggle things the robot shouldn't do during a designated period of time. So if you don't want it to empty its dustbin or top off its water tank while everyone in the house is sleeping, you can schedule the robot's maintenance to only happen when everyone is awake. My biggest gripe with this robot is its docking station. It's not quite as nice as iRobot's J9 Plus dock. The case itself looks good, but the glossy plastic finish makes it look a bit cheaper than the other docking stations I've tested. That said, it does have some added conveniences in exchange for slightly less appealing looks. First, there's an LED on the front that will turn red when the clean water tank needs to be refilled, so you can always check before starting a cleaning job. Second, there isn't really a top, so you can just lift the water tanks right up and empty or refill them without having to open any doors like you do with the iRobot docking stations. But unlike the iRobot stations, you can't use it as a plant stand. Number 5. Dyson 360 Vis Nav. Dyson has long been one of the largest names in vacuum cleaners, and it's quite well known for its air purifiers as well. When I heard Dyson had a new robot vacuum, I had high hopes. My trusty V7 motorhead has kept my floors spot-free for about 5 years. After a couple months of testing, I'm impressed. Dyson's dust tracking makes for a unique cleaning experience that lets you monitor the dirtiest parts of your home, and the actual vacuum does a great job at picking up both large particles like pet hair and dust clumps as well as tiny specks of dirt my pups tend to drag in throughout the day. Unlike iRobot's vacuums, the Vis Nav only has one brush, but it's larger than any other brush I've seen on a robot vacuum and feels quite similar to the brush on one of Dyson's stick vacuums. Even with one less brush than the J9 Plus or J7 Plus, the Vis Nav did just as well at cleaning my floors. Before I ran the Vis Nav for the first time, I let my home accumulate a week's worth of dust and other debris to see how the vacuum could stack up against my V7. After a single cleaning job, the Dyson left my floors feeling just as clean as when I used my V7, which is to say I hardly found any dirt the vacuum missed. My favorite feature on the Vis Nav is its compatibility with Dyson's My Dyson app. Once the robot has completed a cleaning job, you can go into the app, where you can also start cleaning sessions and see a map of your house that shows where the vacuum found the most dust and dirt. This is helpful if you have an air purifier, as it'll help you find the best place to position it for eliminating particles more effectively. Even if you don't have a purifier, it's cool to look at, and you can still do some sleuthing to figure out the source of the dirt and make adjustments to the area as needed. For instance, I realized that a seemingly harmless hole in my wall might be letting some dust get in from my backyard. While most robot vacuums feature a puck-shaped design and a sleek black finish, Dyson's Vis Nav has a flashy blue exterior that's easy to spot and makes the cleaning jobs look more fun than the robots I've tested with sleeker black finishes. It sort of looks like an RC car zooming around your home. The dock doesn't look as good as the J9 Plus S, and its QR code like stickers on the top, which the Vis Nav uses to find its way back to the station to recharge, make the Dyson's dock far less complimentary to home decor than the ones that come with iRobot or Ecovac's machines. It doesn't have a self-emptying docking station like many of the other robot vacuums we recommend, but Dyson's emptying method is the best of the manual ones I've tested. The chamber pops out from the vacuum when you press a large red button, then you can flip out a handle to carry the chamber to a trash can. On the top of the handle, there's a switch that releases all of the collected dirt and debris when flicked, and once it's empty, you simply close it back up and put the chamber back in the vacuum.